Aquinas on January 28th here. All right. Let's read from the Psalm response here. Psalm 40. Here I am, Lord. I come to do your will. I waited and waited for the Lord. He has stooped towards me. You put a new song into my mouth, a hymn to our God. Thomas Aquinas, the great doctor of the church, who wrote the Summa Theologica. You know, like going to the seminary or read books, it's always quoted or made reference to. And most of us never read it. It's, you know, some deep stuff. You have to have a great mind. But even the great intellectual, the great mind, Thomas Aquinas, who struggled, you know, to understand God, to make God knowable here in this to us. And what he took was Aristotle, his philosophy, and sort of Christianized to see how we can see the connection in this natural wisdom of Aristotle, and yet somehow baptize it with the Catholic faith. And so what Thomas did also, you know, he also was able to say that even necessarily without necessarily being baptized with our faith, one on a natural level, okay, the natural things around us can see the hand of God, all right? That is a natural level, that if one's eyes open, you see the creation, the wonders of the world, that yes, and even in our conscience, right? That even if one is not so blessed to be, you know, baptized and know the Lord's way or know Scripture, that we still have a sense that God has put in us, right? A sense of right and wrong. Now, people have damaged that, but there's almost a natural level, and that's what Thomas says. And then we grow in that, in God's grace, in God's way. But Thomas wrote his whole life and writing about the Scriptures and God's teaching at the end. You know, one of the greatest teachers, greatest doctor of the church. He looked at what he wrote and said, "There's nothing but straw to be burned." He realized what he wrote, as great as it may seem in, you know, in the eyes of others, he realized in the reality compared to God, it's straw. We cannot attain God or describe God adequately. He's beyond us. And so Thomas Aquinas, my mother, you know, I told my mother, she told me it was not named after St. Thomas Aquinas. Probably not smart enough. I was more of Thomas the Apostle, be a doubter. But it's great to have great minds. And that gives me assurance. Maybe there's some things that I don't understand or I can't explain well. But I know there are some great minds who are geniuses. And that gives me help as well, who've studied, and I have to rely on them. Because sort of I can't even work my TV with those controls, so I have to rely on others. So even here, these great minds, I trust them. I believe they too have been insightful as well. So maybe I can't, maybe you can't, but you know what? These geniuses can, and I take their word for it. May you as well. God bless you on this feast.